Hello, friends, and welcome back to Pack Talk. I am back. We are back, me and Vincent, with our next episode on peptides,
Yes.
the word of the moment. And today we want to talk to you guys specifically about the Wolverine Stack and what we call the Reboot, right? So we basically have two stacks on the market. One is the Athlete Stack, which is essentially just the Wolverine, and one is the Reboot, which has an added peptide to it, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But the Wolverine Stack, I think you'll probably agree with me, has been like the most talked about and the most popular peptide, especially in our kind of sporting world, just because of the recovery potential that it offers people. So a lot of people who are either, coming back from injury or who have sustained an injury, are looking to get back to everything they do as quickly as possible. And it's not like you can just take it and do nothing. Like, you still have to do all your, your rehabilitation stuff, and your physical therapy stuff, and all your, rebuilding and strength stuff and things like that. But it can help accelerate the process. That's the claim anyway. And we'll talk about that. Obviously, the Wolverine Stack, it comes from Wolverine. If you know the comics, obviously Wolverine can heal very quickly from injury. If he gets shot or if he gets cut, it heals up super quick. So it's kind of taking it from that. And that is basically, where it comes from and what the dream is, right? I can just heal quickly and get back to performing at my best as quickly as possible. So let's chat firstly, Vincent. What is it? What is the Wolverine
What
Stack?
is Wolverine Stack? Okay, good question. Wolverine, the Wolverine Stack has two compounds in it, two amino acids, right? It has BPC-157 and TB-500. So BPC-157, it's actually, it came from the stomach. So someone was researching the stomach a while back, and they were wondering, all the acid that is inside our stomach, how come it doesn't burn a hole through our stomach? Right? So this guy was wondering, well, what's going on in there? So he ended up researching and found out this compound, body protection compound named as BPC-157, is actually the compound that heals the stomach from the acid burns.
Oh, wow.
And so as he was discovering this, he was saying, well, what if I took that out of this, of the stomach and put it somewhere else? So he did a lot of experiments on mice first. And he found, okay, so there was an injured mouse, and he put the BPC-157 into that injured mouse and found the angiogenesis blood vessels started growing in this mouse in the injured spots. So, we stay injured because there's lack of blood flow happening in that site. And so that's why it takes a while. And then eventually, our body, it takes a while for our body to regrow that stuff to eventually heal. But what BPC-157 did was it sped it up. They found that just like in the stomach, where it speeds it up to heal from that acid burn, it started healing in that localized spot that he put that BPC-157 in. So it was really interesting. So he thought, well, what if we started doing that directly to injuries in human beings? And we theorized that, like, okay, because this compound does quickly heal, what if we did it in an injury? So that's where that BPC-157 idea came from.
So again, it's taking something that exists naturally in your body,
Right,
and then just putting it somewhere else to help with localized healing.
Correct. So again, peptides, we tell our body what to do. So basically, we're telling our body, heal this location, right? And again, our body can produce all the things already. It's not like we're putting medicine into the body.
Right.
It is just this peptide that triggers a whole cascading effect of angiogenesis into the injured site, because it knows, there's lack of blood flow in the area. It kind of gets directed into that spot.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's
and obviously
BPC-157.
hugely advantageous if, let's say you're a professional athlete and this is how you make money, and you get an injury, and let's say you get some ligament damage, which, I have right now, and you want to get back to performance as quickly as possible. That is your paycheck. That is how you're getting, paid. It's hugely advantageous to get that. And I know for the longest time it was extremely hard to get, and it was illegal, whatever, and people were going south of the border to get and that kind of stuff. But now it's kind of being legitimized, and there's enough data now to
Well, I think it's
it.
actually even been legalized. I've read stories that the current administration has legalized the BPC-157 TB-500 stack, the Wolverine stack.
Okay.
So I'm still reading through what it was released just about 2 days ago. So it's brand new. I'm still kind of understanding where it is in the market. So it's moving forward to legalization and something that's just going to be available for a lot of people. So
Okay,
it's
great.
exciting.
So we have the BPC-157. We know what that does. It accelerates the tissue repair process. What does the TB-500 add to that process?
So TB-500 is also another interesting compound because it was originally thought it was pulled from the thymus, right? And someone discovered in the thymus. First, they thought it was it did nothing, right? This thymus, and then they figured as they discovered to studying it more, the thymus actually is where your immune system is created, right?
Okay.
So and the guy found that one of the earlier researchers found out by taking out the thymus from a mouse and see what it did, because they all thought it was vestigial. So like your appendix, it doesn't really do anything. But then when they did this experiment, oh, wow, there's no immune system in these mice. It's really important for the immune system. But we also found out, the guys that were researching this found out that the TB-500, so this TB4, Thymosin Beta-4, which is what is in the thymus, they said, well, is it somewhere else? So they thought it was just all immunology. Then they found that as they were researching other parts of the body, that this TB4 was actually all over in all the cells. So they were wondering, well, what is going on there? So it was interesting that they were able to discover that it actually guides cells to areas of like injury. And so they combined the TB-500 with BPC-157. So TB-500 is actually a shortened version of the TB-4. TB-4 is like 47 amino acids long. And they found out you don't really need that whole amino acid to do what it does right now for Wolverine. All you need is actually the last 7 to 17 of that actual.
And it transports it?
So it actually it helps guide the angiogenesis into that injured side. So you have the healing going on with the Wolverine, and then the TB-500 is actually driving all the cells to that spot. So it helps guide the healing into that spot. Wow. So those two really combined we found out. I mean, I injured myself recently, so I actually restarted the Wolverine Stack about 3 days ago, and same with knees again. And I'm already starting to feel like, knock on wood, feeling pretty good already. Better. So and it's minor, but I wanted to attack it sooner than later. So
again, it exists naturally in the body, and we're just almost repurposing it for a localized injury. And I think this is one of the few peptides where you do actually insert it into the injured area, right?
Right. Yeah. The closer you get it to the injured side, the better it is.
Yeah.
So some people, I'm doing it right now directly on my knee. So if you, pull your quad and you pull a little bit of skin right by the kneecap, direct sub-Q there, and it's actually painless.
And the Wolverine Stack it's a daily peptide, right? This is one you take daily in small doses, usually.
Right. Small doses is about 10 units. Like insulin needle for me, it's about 10 units, 12 units. So
and usually for a month?
I have done it until I felt better. Usually I'll take it until about a week. I'll feel good, and then I'll take it for an extra week just to kind of, make sure it's working, and it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, the Wolverine Stack that we're using, we're calling it the athlete stack. It's obviously from a 503A facility.
Correct.
So it's from the highest standard we can get, because it is so popular. This is, on the gray market right now.
You'll actually see a lot of websites trying to sell this, and I've seen $50 BPC-157 Wolverine Stack. And, when I see that, I get very suspect with like the source that's coming from, because I know a lot of these places that sell you these peptides today, they get it from China or Mexico, and I have no idea what the standards are.
Right.
They have for these peptides. Because again, one of the key things I was telling you about in the previous episode was the endotoxin that could be left behind.
Yeah. Let's recap that real quick.
So let's talk about it again. So remember, peptides are generated and created in a lab. And so usually in an E. coli cell, and it's a cell that doesn't do any harm for your body. It will not get you sick, but they only use that as a vehicle to help the peptide grow. So they get it inside the cell. And so imagine the peptides are growing inside the cell. It replicates every 20 minutes or so, and then they collect it. So what happens is when they pop the cell, they collect the inside material, which is the peptide. But most places will leave that cell membrane inside. That's endotoxin. So I was saying it's not bad if you do it maybe 1 or 2 times a year, but if you're constantly putting different types of peptides, so you maybe do Wolverine, you do, others, you're constantly bombarding your body with these, possible endotoxin. And eventually what happens is your body will realize, oh my gosh, I have billions or millions of this E. coli dead, cell membrane inside me. Your body's going to say, I'm supposed to react to this. All of a
Right.
sudden you get inflammation. Maybe your joints will start to ache. Maybe you'll get a cold. Maybe some of your organs will start to fail, just because that's how serious,
Right.
this endotoxin can be for your body. And again, everyone reacts differently, but, you know, uh, so using a 503B facility is critical when
Yeah.
you are getting these peptides.
Yeah. Just because of what it says in the label doesn't mean necessarily that's what it is in the bottle, right? So you just have to be careful with this kind of stuff, which is why again we've made the choice to make sure we're getting it from the right places,
Purest
the highest
source,
quality, the
yeah.
purest form possible. So with this Wolverine Stack, I'm taking it in low doses. I'm taking it daily. I'm probably taking it for a month, maybe a couple of months until the site heals. I know some people are taking it orally.
Right.
For
You should tell them about your
gut
story.
health.
Right. You should
Yeah.
tell them about your story. I mean, I know you did the Austin Marathon.
Yeah, well,
Right.
for me,
Remember.
like I've actually done it a couple of times. So the first time was actually a shoulder thing I had. I just had some, something in my rotator cuff. I definitely like a micro tear or something. I could just feel it when I was pressing overhead. So I took it for that initially, and it healed within a month.
How long did you take it for?
A month.
A month.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
about the right.
And then the next time was, of course, the marathon. I did the Austin Half Marathon. I rolled it badly. Like within the first mile, I rolled it, and I ran the rest of the race, having rolled it, and just kind of like, once the endorphins kick in, and you got the energy of the crowd, and like you kind of like, you can kind of get through any kind of pain. Well, not any kind of pain, but you can get through a lot of pain that way and just kind of shut it off. So I ran the rest of the race, and then as soon as the race was over, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in trouble tomorrow. Right. So it was badly swollen, hard to walk. Obviously, there was definitely, I definitely sprained it badly or tore something.
Yeah.
But I didn't get a scan, just through sheer stupidity, really. But I didn't get a scan. I just decided to, do the Wolverine Stack and strength train it myself and get it back, because I had booked another half marathon in the John Wayne Grid Series half marathon up in Pioneer Town, and that was within 6 weeks. So I only had 6 weeks to heal, get better, retrain, and get back in running condition, which I did. And again, the John Wayne, the Grid Series half marathon was way harder than the Austin Marathon. The terrain it's a trail run,
dirt,
so the terrain,
right?
the terrain was a lot tougher, a lot more unstable. Even during that race, I still rolled it a couple of times because it was, it's almost impossible not to because the ground is so uneven. But again, got through it. I was dying during the race because it was hot and it was hard, but not because of my ankle. And it's gone better and better since then. So again, that was my secondary proof that this was a legitimate
And how long did
peptide.
So you did it for 6 weeks, or
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So.
And then I've read about people that take it. Some people take it orally instead of injection, and I from my understanding, that's more of a gut health, and it can be helpful with Crohn's and things like that. Is that right?
I don't usually oral peptides. I don't know how effective they are,
Right.
but some people it could work. I know some people who take a topical peptide
Right.
and it works great for them. So I say,
Right.
if it works for you,
Yeah.
don't.
But usually
But-
with the injury stuff,
Yeah.
the localized injection is probably going to be better.
Right.
For healing a specific injury.
Right.
Again, I think the oral thing is more of a gut health type, Crohn's disease type,
Right.
prescription. But yeah, I think most people that are listening to this podcast are going to be like, oh, I have a knee thing. Oh, I have a hip thing. Oh, I have a shoulder thing.
Right.
And, I'd love to not be dealing with the pain that I'm dealing with. Is there a way to heal quicker? Right. And this would be, the kind of solution.
This would be these two peptides, in one. The Wolverine Stack is in one bottle. So
yeah.
Both.
Well, and this is the other thing, guys. When you get it through the 503 facility, it comes, already mixed.
Right. Pre-mixed already for you.
Pre-mixed,
right.
Ready. The dose, the procedure. Obviously you consult with the doctor about it. Exactly like what it is, how often you're taking it, how much you're taking, and how to do it, as opposed to the other way, which is just like it's a crapshoot.
Right.
You don't really,
Powder, and then
you get
mix it
powder, you have to add your own
yourself,
stuff, and
then there's all potential error.
it's a guessing game. Yeah. So let's talk about the kind of like ramped up version. So we have the athlete stack, which is just the Wolverine stack,
Right.
and then we have the Reboot.
We have the Reboot, right? So the Reboot stack has GHK-Cu in it. Right. So
And
that's an
that's the
interesting
copper
compound.
peptide, right? They
Right.
call it
That's the copper peptide.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting because that specific peptide was actually studied for skin. So remember, a lot of these peptides,
Which is why we look so beautiful.
right? A lot of these peptides, were sponsored and paid for by pharmaceutical companies for specific reasons. So GHK-Cu specifically was someone paid to see how it affects people's skin. And it turns out it is really good and effective for skin because it does help with collagen turnover and collagen production and elastin. So
Right.
it's really, really good. But at the same time, when you add that to a Wolverine stack, what's nice about that is you have the BPC-157 healing, you have the TB-500 directing, and the GHK-Cu actually provides you like quality collagen and protein to heal that specific injury, right? So imagine it's like a construction crew, and you're driving the truck in, the TB-500 is showing you where to go, and the GHK-Cu is like providing the rebar, right? So to make it the strongest building possible.
Right.
So all three are coming together, and the copper actually helps weave all of that together and makes it even stronger. So that's why combining all three, in my opinion, is a really great way to kind of heal more serious injuries that you're experiencing.
Right. Right. And other benefits to the copper peptides. So we've got like obviously the skin, hair, nails, that kind of stuff.
It's more collagen, and we figure anything collagen, elastin related, it's really going to help your body overall. So,
joint health,
the hair, skin, nails. It's a good overall peptide for most people. Use it for beauty, but does this
have an effect on hormone secretion or not so much?
I don't think so.
No.
I have not read about effects on hormone secretion, so no. This is just purely more recovery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the Reboot, guys. So it's the TB-500 with the BPC-157 plus the GHK-Cu,
right?
Which is the copper peptide,
right?
Yeah. So that's what I'm taking right now. I have this knee thing, which unfortunately I got in jiu-jitsu. Thanks to the American healthcare system, I am still waiting for an MRI, but I'm pretty sure it's ACL or maybe MCL, but I think ACL. And the only thing I don't know is how bad it is right now, but I jumped on it quick. Obviously, I'm doing the Reboot. I am strength training. I'm kind of like doing what I can to kind of work around it. And it is getting better. Obviously, I'm hoping that I don't need surgery and I don't think I will, because I don't think I'd be able to do what I am doing if it was, severed. So hopefully not that, but yeah. So I'm on this kick right now to get back to my best as quickly as possible. I'm not obviously running right now. I'm not doing jiu-jitsu right now. I'm not boxing right now. I'm just doing like basic strength training. And as Vincent says, he is also. Are you doing the Reboot or that?
I'm just doing TB-500. The Wolverine Stack.
You're doing the Wolverine Stack right now, right. To help with his knee issue.
Right.
There's a number of you guys that have reached out. Obviously, interested in this, because I know a lot of you guys out there do have things. You're going to have things like as we age, the more physical activity we do, things happen. Like it's just the course of things. So again, the peptide thing is a way to use, a lot of these peptides are either being repurposed or, they exist naturally in your body. So it's not like taking a drug, or it's not like taking something that isn't, natural. This isn't like a man-made synthetic kind of thing. So this could be a good option for you guys. Again, I want to emphasize it's very important that you are as educated as you can about these things. And we're trying to help with that, but obviously we want you to speak.
We're not doctors.
We're not doctors.
We're not going to tell you what to put in your body or not, but we're just telling you our own experience.
Yeah, we can tell you our experience. We can tell you what's out there, and we can point you in the right direction. Right. Speak to a doctor, which we can provide you that access. Have that consultation. Talk about what you're interested in. Talk about what your problems are. Talk about your history. Make sure this is the right decision for you right now. and make sure you feel good about it. You should go into these things with a sense of understanding, with a sense of hope. I know a lot of people out there who have reached out. I've reached that point of like, I just need some help right now because I'm kind of at a sticking point where it's just not getting better. So this might be a good shout for you. And again, I want you guys to reach out to Vincent, reach out to me, reach out to the doctor that will hook you up with, just to make sure you have all the information that you need to make sure this is the right decision for you. So thank you to Vincent for talking us through the Wolverine Stack and the Reboot.
Just to give you one more thing, I know
Yeah.
the Wolverine Stack, actually, a lot of people use it for recovery as well. I know some people who train as pretty hard. I'm a CrossFitter, and
Right.
I know my other CrossFitter friends.
Just for general recovery.
For general recovery, where they don't put in the localized spot, they just put it, under their abdomen and just do a general TB-500 Wolverine. And they say their recovery is faster. So I haven't done that yet, but it does, just in theory, it does make sense. So
yeah. Let's say you run the marathon and you're brutally sore for a few days. Like, it might help you get over it quicker. If you have a big event like that, something else to consider. Right. But then again, we'll be back, guys, with another episode very shortly. But until then, again, thank you to Vincent. We can give you guys access to this kind of stuff whenever you guys are ready. So do reach out. And like I said, come see us in Palm Springs, Echo Park, Redondo Beach, Idlewild. We always love to see you guys in person. But otherwise, reach out to us online or on Instagram. You can shoot us a DM. And we'll be back with you guys real shortly. So thanks for tuning in, and see you soon. Bye. Thanks, Bill.